everybody is all about that Netflix and chill, but where's the Netflix and commitment?
And I know when that hotline bling.
My room's a mess, I'm not wearing pants, and my hair is really, really dirty. I wasn't planning on filming this. I gotta learn how to slow down before I talk about this topic. I wasn't planning on filming this, but on my way home from work, I literally had this entire conversation to myself while stuck in rush hour traffic, and I thought might as well make it into a video because sometimes I'm thinking of like Danielle Marie's honest video ever or a bunch of HelloKaty's, this girl sanvlog that I watch. Some of their greatest videos are when you're like passionate and emotional about it in the present moment. So I am like literally the hottest mess you've ever seen me. The reason I'm filming is because how often does this happen to you? You ask a friend about the person they're seeing, instead of we broke up, they respond with, oh, and then we just stopped talking. Even like with yourself, if a family member or someone is asking, hey, like, are you still flinging it with that guy from school? Instead of saying, no, it ended, you have to say, yeah, like we were snapping and then it just kind of stopped. Oftentimes I have to stand up for my generation because my mother will always claim that millennials do not know how to date. And at holiday dinners and family events, I'm the one that says, Mom, that's not true, yeah we do. Or you're just hating on this generation because we're different, we have technology. But at the end of the day, is she right? I mean, one of our biggest phrases right now in like the slogan swag terms is Netflix and chill. Everybody is all about that Netflix and chill, but where's the Netflix and commitment? Nobody wants to commit. Isn't it cool just to have a hotline bling, girls on the side, like, ah! And that's what I want to talk about today, because here's what I think. When there's no relationship defined, there's no breakup. And when there's no breakup, there's no mess. When we're from a generation where everything is so instant and clean, portable and fast and instant, isn't that going to affect our dating culture? Everything is just instant. Of course, I know that you can't go from not dating to dating and going steady, and that there is a time where it will be like flinging it, but, you know, from personal experience and just culture in general and friends, if you talk about it with the person that you're flinging it with, a lot of the times they're not looking for anything further. I'm trying to understand why, because I'm always looking for something further, and I always want to go from, you know, meeting, going on dates, to eventually dating and being in a relationship. So why is it that my generation isn't seeking that? We're seeking Tinder and Hot or Not, OkCupid. We have all these apps for hookups, and if you like the hookup, you continue to hook up with that person, but there's no commitment in that. There's no conversation. I know I'm being really vague and that this doesn't go for everyone, and that yes, there are a lot of people still in relationships and like having boyfriends and girlfriends, and that's awesome. But I wonder if there's a shift. I can only speak for my generation. You can only speak for yours. I don't know. The big thing running through my head in the car is that how often did I have to explain to a friend that I haven't caught up with in a while what happened with me and a guy? And what happened with me and a guy? Oh, we just stopped talking. Or we were snapping and then it just kind of faded. Or I can't believe it, but one time this is ridiculous because of my generation, but one time I even had a conversation evaluating what a guy might want, and it went something like this, where it was, oh, but he hasn't watched a snap in 4 months, but the other week he favorited my tweet, what does that mean? And then actually looking into it with a friend and thinking, what could this mean? When in reality, all it means is that we have more than enough ways to communicate, but we lost all form of communication as a generation. Everything is so instant, and you can snap, tweet, text, DM, but nobody is waiting for the other person to call back after a date when they say that they'll call you. There's a movie called He's Just Not That Into You, and I think it's the last iconic movie of this dating era, where you would go on a date with a guy or a girl, and at the end of the date, one or both will give each other their numbers and say, I'll call you. I had a nice time. Let's do this again. I'll call you. And the entire movie follows this girl. It's actually really depressing. She just sits by her home phone and just waits for this guy to call her back, and then her guy friend is like, dude, he's not going to call you. He's not going to call you because he's not interested. Why can't it be that simple? Nowadays, you know, if a guy is not interested in you, why can't it just be as simple as he doesn't call you back? Because now we have, oh my gosh, he watched my Snap story, he followed me on Instagram, but he didn't follow me back on Twitter. Does he still want to hang out? We only hung out once. Like, what does this mean? There are so many ways of communication. I think it gets flooded or complicated. And I would be the first to say that I wish we could go back to when we just had a home phone. And I could just meet someone and say, I had a great time, if I did. I'll call you, or if he says, I'll call you, and then just wait for that phone call. And I think, wasn't the rule, like, give it a week, and if he doesn't call within a week, then you move on? Like, how simple is that? And then it puts the other person at this pressure, because if you really do like the person that you saw, and you want to continue seeing them, you have to call them, otherwise there's no other way to see them again. Nowadays, I'm gonna say this again, I swear, I know I've been saying it a lot, but like, seriously, every single time I got involved with a guy, the way it ends is, you know, and then we just stopped talking, or, you know, we just stopped responding, or, yeah, we were snapping for a while, but it just kind of stopped. There's no definite end. There's no breakup. There's no mess. That is the dating world of the millennials. And I'm trying to figure out if I like it or not, because I'm not going to lie, in high school and just in the world of life, yeah, I've played the hookup game. I'm 20 years old, and I'm not trying to hate on the hookup culture by saying it's a bad thing, because it's your choice, but I know I personally just can't do it anymore for a few reasons. And now that I'm ready to actually look for like the dating world, it no longer exists. I've had super strong feelings for individuals throughout the last few years, to a point where it was love. But in every single relationship, he never asked me to be his girlfriend. We never defined it. We never said, like, do you want to date? Do you want to go steady? I know steady is like the oldest term in the book, but I can't think of another phrase for this. And I have friends in relationships who can say I have a boyfriend and stuff, but for a very long time, I remember I was there with them, talking, analyzing Snapchats, analyzing messages, wondering, what does this mean? Are we dating? Are we not? It's complicated. It's stressful. I'm not gonna lie, like, it adds stress to when you're interested in someone and you don't know what it is and you can't ask them, and it isn't the culture of dating, because, I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts. I don't think they're making any sense. All I know is that our generation, we're the generation where it's Netflix and chill, hotline bling. I don't know what else to say, except just something to think about, and something that I noticed. And I want to know your thoughts, and if you agree or disagree, and if you do disagree, don't just hate on it, like, tell me why you disagree, because I want to hear your side of this. I'm just trying to understand this, because not only are guys complicated, I mean, girls are complicated to understand, but the entire, like, era that we're going through right now is freaking complicated. I just don't get it, really. Because it just seems like whenever I get invested into someone, they're not as invested as I am, and that they're completely content in this limbo of what are we, because they're not, like, who wants a relationship nowadays when everything is so instant? You don't need to work up to win someone when you can just have them as easy as it is to download an app on your phone, and you can delete them as easy as it is to just stop responding. And I know this is a very narrow perspective on something, and that there are a lot of different terms, and like I've said, it's not completely dead. I have friends in relationships, but just from my perspective, you know, like, going through all of high school, part of college, up till, like, I'm turning 21 in 2 months, why is it that I've constantly been open to the idea of a relationship, been invested in someone to a point where I have loved them, and yet we had never hit that point of, I want to date you, and I want to make this a long-term commitment? Why does it seem like less and less people want that? And how is our culture and society affecting this? I don't know. Like I said in the beginning, the thought that hit me in the car on the way home from work today was just that when I was asking myself the same question, and my answer was, well, when there's no relationship, there's no breakup, so there's no mess. Is that true? Am I right? Am I wrong? I mean, is my mother right? Does my generation even know how to date? Or am I right when I stand up for us and say, yeah, we do, Mom, it's just different now? Why do girls get so much anxiety depending on how a guy responds or doesn't respond, or watches your Snap story or doesn't watch it, that they have to talk to a friend and ask them what is going on, or if I should be concerned. And I've been on both ends of that. More so the end, receiving the friend's worry about a guy, because I try not to look into it. I mean, I've got 3 brothers. I understand that guys don't really, like, there's no secret message. You know, they're just, meh. Okay, I'm worried my battery's going to die, and I understand this is really big rant, so I really appreciate you watching this. I hope this is okay. My room is literally such a mess right now, and I just didn't know what to wear. It's just super hot in my room, and I'm just trying, I don't know. Anyways, I hope this sparked some sort of conversation, and please just let me know your thoughts down below, because I want to hear them. I want other people's perspectives on this. Can you relate to me, or have you been seeing someone for years? Like, how does this work? I just don't get it. Growing up, I always would, like, fantasize, you know, when I'm a teenager, I'm gonna have this boyfriend, and we're gonna go to prom together, and all this stuff, and, like, I went to prom with a guy, but, like, I never got that high school boyfriend that every single Disney movie told me I would get. And is it a personal issue? Was it just me? Or is it because our generation is slowly losing romance and gaining sex? I don't know. I really don't know. Now I just feel like I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna go. But just to reiterate, Netflix and chill, it's catchy, and I love the saying, but I tweeted this actually like months ago where it was like, everybody's all about that Netflix and chill, but where's the Netflix and commitment? Where is it? Seriously, like, where did it go? Why is no one looking for that? Again, I mean no harm by this, so I hope no one is offended. If you are a millennial and you disagree, help me understand down below. Or if you aren't a millennial basically means somebody born in the 2000s or like the year before. So I was born in 1995. I grew up during the 21st century with a lot of instant technology, and that's basically what I'm addressing. If you couldn't get that through like all the apps and stuff. Yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to talk about. Anything to add? Sorry, I literally look like such a hot mess. I started my new nanny job today with the baby, and it's going great, and then for some reason this just you know, came into my mind on the drive home. And if you know me in real life, this is not an attack on anything. I feel like I'm at a very good place. I don't regret anything in the past. I guess the one positive part about never having that steady boyfriend that I imagined myself having, and never getting to that point of being in a relationship with someone where it felt like I wasn't afraid they were going to leave me. Okay, my battery died in my camera, but I'm really not done talking yet. So I moved over to my phone because I only have 1 battery pack. Failure of a YouTube right here. But I wasn't done talking because I was on a really good, like, positive note. Also, if you like the style of where I just move my phone around a lot and talk to the camera, be sure to subscribe to my vlog channel. Because this is what I use. What I was saying, I guess the one positive part about never having that serious and steady relationship to a point where this whole video probably wouldn't be made if I thought my generation could date, is that I'm not on bad terms with anyone. The whole part about no relationship, no breakup, no mess is that you can still be friends with them. You can still interact and just pretend that everything's normal and that you don't still have feelings for them, right? So I guess that's a positive thing. I don't have any bad breakups that have hurt me, and I don't have any people that have really hurt me to a point where I couldn't get over it. So on the bright side, I guess if we're looking at my generation that doesn't know how to date and tends to fizzle out relationships instead of end them, on the bright side, we've probably made a lot more friends. And we probably have a lot more opposite sex friendships that have remained, even though the hookup part of the hookup culture that we're in stopped. Does that make any sense? Okay, summer romance. One of you or both of you go back to school in the fall. Because you weren't seriously dating and in a relationship where you had to define it because it just sort of ended when you went back to school. I mean, you're still talking. You can still be friends with them because nothing happened, right? Why wasn't my hair down the entire video? Thank you so much for listening to me rant. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I mean no harm. This was just my thoughts and rambles on my way home from a day of work. Please leave your feedback in the comments down below. Let's make this a conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether or not our generation can date. And I'll see you very, very soon in my next video. Bye!
I know when that hotline bling, that can only mean one thing.
Okay.